Friends, welcome to this short video of how and why husband and wife relationship may become sour and what is the solution. To hold a husband, the wife should have understanding instead of beauty. God designed husbands and wives to complete each other, not to compete with each other. To hold a husband, the wife should have understanding instead of beauty. An excellent wife is the crown of her husband. To the world, husband may be one person, but for wife, husband is the world. Should be the ideal attitude of wife. Love can move mountains. Love is divine and lust is physical. People may marry very young, mostly driven by physical beauty of each other. Beauty is contextual, whereas if they have good family background, tradition and culture, they may be able to understand the basics of spirituality. This is one important point which has to be seriously considered. When it comes to spirituality, all of us invariably say, I am God-fearing. This is a wrong statement. God is love, and why should we associate God with fear? Soul of all of us is absolutely pure, but the physical body has to have mind. Mind is the nucleus of our life. Physical body may be beautiful, while what matters in life is mind. Therefore, we need to feel the beauty of the mind, which means the purity of the mind. Unfortunately, this world, which saints and mystics have called as illusion or Maya, which means deceptive, and thus all of us are prone to deception. Our habits also play a major role in our relationship, not only with wife but with everyone associated with us. As the popular proverbial saying goes, old habits die hard. In fact, as it looks nowadays, old habits may never die at all. Habits only leads and becomes an attitude and a certain type of mindset which will be unfortunately applied to everyone. Thus, all our relationship in this world is built on this premise. Next, in the process of building relationship, the element of mutual suspicion by so-called intuition gives a severe blow to both the new relationship as much to the already well-established relationship. The ego factor. Then comes the ego factor. Ego is disastrous. The proverb, man dies first and ego dies next, is worth recollecting in this context. It can easily create a new low in the relationship, no matter whether the relationship is old or new. When it comes to relationship, the first point I want to stress is the communication issues. Lack or inefficient or insufficient communication between couples is the death knell of relationship. The most common complaint among married couples is lack of communication. Many couples put up with problems rather than try to fix them. In the beginning, they agreed husband would earn money and she would take care of the house and kids. When they face new challenges later on, they have to negotiate a new mutual understanding. The issue is whether spouses can listen to each other's complaints without interrupting or getting defensive and arrive at a consensus of opinion. Ignoring boundaries. Do not allow any outsider to the relationship between the spouses to intervene. They should turn a deaf ear to others' suggestion or recommendation and independently and mutually decide themselves. It is not uncommon for one spouse to try to change his or her partner, whether it is how he or she dresses or about fundamental beliefs. Trying to change your spouse will feel like a personal invasion and may trigger defensive attitude. Overstepping boundaries can destroy mutual trust and confidence. The result is likely to be retaliation or withdrawal from the relationship. Lack of sexual intimacy. There are lots of reasons couples lose interest in sex, ranging from medical problems to emotional issues. Generally, sexual problems trigger a vicious cycle where it is difficult to want sex when you feel emotionally distant from your partner, and it is difficult to feel emotionally attached without experiencing sexual intimacy. To get past sexual indifference, couples need to discuss and resolve their emotional issues first. Emotional or sexual infidelity. A common problem in many marriages is for the couple to become emotionally distant. When this happens, it is likely he or she may start looking around. Emotional infidelity can lead to adultery, and cheating is destructive of a marriage. It is important for every couple to discuss and agree on what constitutes infidelity. Fighting about money. Disagreement about money are inevitable in a marriage. One spouse may want to spend, other spouse may want to save. Disagreement about money usually reflect different core values. To avoid these problems, it is important to discuss and agree how to handle finances. Selfishness. If one spouse constantly places his or her need above the goals and interests of the marriage, it is only a matter of time before the neglected spouse begins to feel rejected and unloved. Getting married involves give and take rather than getting your own needs met all the time. If one spouse dictates the terms of the marriage and won't compromise, that is the recipe for disaster. Value differences. When a couple has core value differences such as religious preferences, that can cause serious problem. They may have major disagreements about what religion to teach their children. Other differences include how to discipline, definition of right and wrong, or other ethical conflicts. Everyone doesn't grow with the same values, morals, or goals, and there is a lot of room for debate about right and wrong. If a couple can't learn to adjust different values, they may have serious problem in their marriage. Different life stages. Most couples don't think about differences in life stages when they marry, but this can be a significant problem with couples at different stages. Personalities change, and a couple may not remain compatible as they transition to different stages of life. An older husband may not be interested in beginning a new family, while the young bride is anxious to have a baby, or he may be nearing retirement and want to slow down while she needs to stay active. Monotony of routine. Doing the same old thing can get tiresome, and it is hard to make changes in a comfortable relationship until it is too late. Doing something new from time to time can add a spark and spice to a relationship. Jealousy. Being jealous can turn a marriage sour, especially if the jealous feelings are unrealistic. Jealous persons can become overbearing and controlling, or angry and rejecting. If you are feeling jealous, see a counselor to decide whether your feelings are reasonable. You may have an attachment problem that needs to be discussed with a competent counselor. It does take two to make a marriage work. If the marriage cannot be fixed because one or both spouses no longer want to be married, call an experienced counselor or life coach, and if you believe in astrology, then connect with me. Enlighten Mind Astrology. The Prashna Kundali of Enlighten Mind can answer all your questions about interpersonal relationship, no matter how sensitive it is between the spouses. All delicate, minute, critical, and important aspects of relationship can be very effectively deciphered through Prashna Kundali long before the end of the relationship. In the olden days, divorce was a word almost not even heard of, or extremely remote in life. Nowadays, it has become a very common problem. From a spiritual perspective, this is the worst that can happen. The life of so many relatives on both sides of the spouses, and especially their children if they have, get ruined. It is just not the subject matter of the spouses alone. To save a marriage and thus the future, get in touch with Enlightened Mind. The moment you sense the starting of relationship issues before it can before it is too late. You can safely rely upon me. I am K. Jagdish, and I will advise with trinity of values in life as a life coach, astrologer, spiritual thinker, and an entrepreneur with over 4 decades of exposure in an eventful life of 75 years. I will surely be able to give you the best possible advice. Wishing all of you a very happy married life. Thank you.